JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 27th of August 2020, so yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. Now let's jump into the charts. Now the first one actually I want to touch on here is Nikkei 225. So the index drifted to the downside today a little bit. However, it remained in this very tight range here between these two levels that I talked about previously. So it failed to kind of close below the June high near the 23,186 zone. And it also failed to move above the high of the 14th of August, which I've mentioned to you previously as well, guys, and that's at the 23,339 level. So basically, in other words, the index is stuck here, so we need to wait until we see a more clear view, move here. So in order to aim for some higher levels, as I mentioned to you before, we need to see a nice good pop above this 23,339 zone, and ideally, of course, a nice daily close would be nice to see here as well, because as you can see here, for example, on the 25th we did have a pop, but it didn't really kind of stay above it. So that's why we would prefer to see this index closing at least above this 23,339 level. Now in terms of the downside here, even if it drops below the 23,186 territory right here, yes, it could increase the chances of a possible further slide here. However, it may once again get a hold up somewhere near this 21-day EMA, or maybe even near this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 9th of June. So again, something for you guys to keep in mind, to be very careful about. But if that downside line gets broken, now this is where it could become a little bit more exciting for more sellers. Now jumping into Hong Kong's Hang Seng index, you can see that the index also drifted to the downside today. However, it remains above this 21-day EMA. It's shown as the yellow line, which kind of is sometimes, I would say, sometimes acting as a good area of support, despite, for example, here having these two drops below it on the 20th and the 21st of August. But nevertheless, for now, we're keeping an eye on this one. We're keeping an eye on this 25,200 territory, which kind of coincides with this 21-day EMA. And in a way, if all this kind of provides support for the index, then we could see a nice reversal and a push higher. If you're more on the cautious side, you could just wait for a push above the current highest point of August near the 25,621 zone here, and then kind of aim for some further upside. For now, it's like I said, it's stuck here. On one hand, it seems to be showing signs of a possible move lower. However, it's currently balancing above this 21-day EMA, and also and also kind of remains above that as well, and also is still overall still trading above this medium term upside support line taken from the low the 19th of March. So in a way, even if it drops even let's say below this 25,200 zone, still there is a chance for the bulls to step in somewhere around here near this upside line and drive the index up again. But like I said, for those who are more on the cautious side, wait for a push above the 25,621 zone. Now jumping into the German index here, the German DAX. So yesterday we had a fantastic close here above this barrier, above this 13,100 zone. I talked a lot about this level yesterday, and basically finally we saw that nice good close above it. So this way the index now increases its chances of a possible further move north towards the highest point of July near the 13,314 level. At the moment, the cash index is currently balancing near the 13,200 mark, maybe just fractionally above it, but nevertheless we'll keep an eye on this 13,314 level, as this could be our next target, and if that gets broken, then of course, yep, it could be opening the door towards even a further move north towards the 13,500 zone marked near the low of the 21st of February. So again, something for you guys to keep in mind, something to watch out for, but for now it is how it is. I mean, we will, like I said, we will be aiming for some higher levels unless this index starts sharply dropping back below the 13,100 zone here. Then we might see a bit of a maybe larger correction to the downside, because here the index might get a hold up somewhere near the 21-day EMA again, but if we see a strong move below the 12,773 territory right here, and we see a daily close below it, then well, this is where it could turn out to be a little bit ugly for the bulls. So yep, something for you to monitor, guys. Now jumping into another index, and this one is a dollar index, and here it continues to trade above this 92.55 level. Now I talked a lot about DXY previously, and now you can see that the index is kind of it's still managing to remain above this hurdle. Again, for now probably will remain somewhat on the cautious side, I would say, because to be honest, we need to see at least a push above the 93.81 zone in order to consider a bit of a larger correction, because don't forget that we're overall still trading below this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 23rd of March. So yep, keep your eyes on that one, guys. In terms of the downside, we would need to see a nice good heavy move below the 92.24 zone, and then yep, further declines could be possible. Jumping into Brent Oil here, so here you can see that the index managed to remain above the 200-day EMA yesterday. Yep, for now today, although we are seeing a bit of a move lower, still it stays above this 200-day EMA. So as long as it continues to trade above it, there is a good chance we could see this commodity pushing higher. And as I mentioned to you guys yesterday, for now what I'm targeting here is the 48.42 level. That's of course if the index sorry, not the index, if the commodity remains continues to balance above this 200-day EMA. In order to consider the downside, a break of the short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 12th of June is needed. In addition to that, a nice good move below the low of the 21st of August here near the 43.62 zone could do the trick for more sellers. Now gold, gold is well, is kind of still trading in this little kind of triangle. I talked about this previously, guys, and it's still stuck between these two lines, a short-term downside resistance line taken from the high of the 7th of August and a medium-term upside support line taken from the low of the 20th of March. Now yesterday we had a nice move towards this medium-term upside line. It just fell shy a few points shy from hitting that line and reversed sharply sharply to the upside. However, it didn't really move above this downside line. So basically, in other words, the pair is the commodity, the precious metal, is still stuck here. So we're waiting for that clear breakthrough one of these lines before considering the next directional move. Jumping into Litecoin, so here I looked at this one previously, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 21st of July. In a way, as long as it stays above this and doesn't close below this upside line, then there is a good chance we could see this one reversing back to the upside. However, right now, given the situation, probably to be on the safe side, preferably a push above the 63.10 11 zone, somewhere around here, could be a good barrier to watch. So a nice good break above it may open the door back to the current highest point of August near the 68.94 level. But again, that's in terms of the upside, and in case this upside line continues to provide support. But if it fails and we see a nice daily close here below this upside line, and then we see a drop below the low of the 25th of August, which is at the same time the current lowest point of this week, so a drop below the 56.70 territory right here first of all would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and then yep, it could open the door towards a move towards the lowest point of actually, is this the lowest point, or is this the lowest point? There we go, that's going to be the lowest point of August at 51.42 zone. Of course, let's use the word current lowest point, but again, yeah, we'll take it from there, guys. But for now, looks like keep your eyes on this upside line. If we get a break and a drop below the current lowest point of this week near the 56.70 zone, then yes, further declines could be possible. Now, US dollar against the Swedish krone, and something that you probably don't look at very often, but we do have some data coming out today, looking at the economic calendar. So we have the Swedish consumer confidence and manufacturing confidence numbers. Currently, there's no expectation for that, and also we will have the retail sales on a month-on-month and year-on-year basis from Sweden. So, so basically, there is a bit. If the data comes out on the brighter side here, then yes, of course, this slide may continue here in USD/SEK because the Swedish krona would be strengthening. But given that it already had a decent move lower here, we would probably wait for a drop below this 8.6110 territory right here, marked by the current lowest point of August, and then aim for further declines. In case of the upside, well, pretty straightforward. We need to see a clear break above this downside line taken from the high of the 23rd of March, and also a push above the the high of the 21st of August. And let me just actually double check. That's the current highest point of August near the 8.8173 territory, so approximately around there, guys. So a nice good push above it, may open the door towards higher levels and could kind of signal a change in this medium-term trend. But again, for now, guys, we cannot really do anything. The only thing we can do is continue observing it, and keep your eyes on these two levels. Now, so another interesting pair that I probably don't look at very often, but it sometimes presents itself with nice technical setups. Basically, US dollar against the South African rand. So the pair has been declining here from after hitting the high here in August near the let me just grab this one. There we go. Not this one, but this one right here. So after hitting the 17.7844 level, it started drifting lower. However, as you can see, for the kind of past few days, the pair is finding very good support near this key support near this level at around 16.7987 mark, which is near the highs of the 16th of July and also the 24th of July. So in a way we could see this one pushing higher here, maybe if this support area continues. If this support area continues to provide a decent hold up. Now, if this gets broken, of course, then yep, a further decline is possible. Here, we could then start looking at this potential area of support here near the 16.3353 level. But as I said, we need to see a clear move below the 16.7987 mark here, and then yes, we could consider maybe a bit of a decline towards this key support, other key support zone. However, if this area does continues to provide support, then maybe a bit of a push higher here could be possible. Still, don't get me wrong, the overall here, looking at this from the bigger perspective, still a push above the 17.7844 zone would be required in order to get a little bit more comfortable with higher levels, and because such a move would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and more buyers could be joining in here. Now, jumping into AUDUSD, so this one is, well, managed to get back above this short-term tentative upside support line, so we can actually get rid of that probably. Let's just not overcomplicate our chart. But the most important is that it's now trading near this 0.7243 territory, which, as you can see, continued to provide decent resistance recently, although we did get a few overshoots here on the 18th and 19th of August. Still, neither of the daily candles remained above it. So now the big question here is, will the third time be a lucky one to overcome the 0.7243 territory? If it is, then yes, of course, higher levels could be met. So keep your eyes on this one. In terms of the downside here, well, we would need to see probably somewhere maybe a drop below the 0.7109, or even we can actually raise it a little bit here, 0.7139 level. There we go. So at the same time, the pair would be placed below the low of last week, I think. Let me just grab this one. 0.7136. There we go. So the low of last week was around 0.7136. A nice good drop below that would also place the rate below the 21-day EMA, and yep, it could open the door towards lower areas. Now, jumping into GBPCAD here, so everything's working out nicely. I spoke about this pair recently, and basically I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on the short-term upside support line. Last week I talked about this pair, and you can see that yep, this upside line seems to be doing its job for now. However, if you want to go and get a little bit more comfortable with slightly higher levels, or examining slightly higher levels, then yep, a push above the 1.7457 zone here would be required. In terms of the downside, still the same level remains, the 1.7247 zone. That's what we need to see a break of before a break of which we could open the door towards slightly lower areas. And finally, EURUSD. So the pair continues to move around and to oscillate around this 1.1815 level. I spoke about this level previously, and basically that's the highest point of September of 2018. So as you can see, yesterday the pair once again found very good support near the 21-day EMA, moved back above this 1.1815 level, and today we're seeing so far we're seeing the pair trading above it. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that we're gonna start moving higher here. Of course, there is a bit of a chance, but to be honest, looking at this now, preferably to stay on the safe side and wait for a break above the current highest point of August here near the 1.1965 zone, and then target some higher levels, because such a move would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and maybe more buyers could be joining in. Now, in case this suddenly starts dropping back below the 1.1815 territory and once again tests the 21-day EMA, now maybe will be the time when the the pair, or I should say the bears will be willing to drive this one a little bit further to the south, towards this 1.1725 territory, or this upside support line taken from the low of the 14th of May. So for now, guys, a long story short here, we'll probably take a bit of a neutral stand here and wait for a better indication and a more clear move here from EURUSD, because at the moment it could it's a very tricky one here. So in a way it could travel lower here, test this upside line, and then rebound to the upside, or it could actually fail to just take the 21-day EMA and kind of consider it continue to consider it as a good support zone, from which, as you can see, it rebounded yesterday and it may move higher. But in this scenario, we'll probably wait for a push over the 1.1965 level in order to get just a little bit more comfortable with higher areas. So guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Just to let you know that there won't be any Traders Espresso tomorrow. I will resume on Monday. So yeah, there won't be any Traders Espresso nor tea time tomorrow. Today, yep, still join me for my Traders Tea Time later on, as always, 13:15 GMT. For now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.